Wonder if the Metro Phoenix market is finally tipping? Here's the truth. Chrissy Valentine here. I've been a real estate agent for 7 years. I'm an Arizona native, grew up in this great state, and I've been helping hundreds of families get into their dream home for the last 7 years. So in this video today, I'm going to share with you some quick stats on how the Phoenix market is performing today and how it's been responding to the current economic conditions. In a nutshell, inventory is surging and buyer demand is stalling. What we're seeing now is sellers are feeling that loss of the 2021 pricing. Let's break it down. First, I want to share with you guys the numbers. Currently, we have about 28,000 homes listed in the MLS across all price points. The sales volume is currently 7,000 homes sold this last month. That's up slightly from the previous months where we were hovering around 6,000 homes in February and March. If you do the quick math on that, that's just over 4 months of inventory. Translation, if there are no new homes to hit the market, it would take about 4 months to sell all the current homes in the market right now. This is a huge shift from the frenzy of the last few years. There was a point in about 21 that we hit 5,000 listings in the MLS. Next, I want to talk about what's driving this shift. So the active listing count is up almost 50% compared to June of 2024, and the buyer demand is way down, which means pending sales and new contracts are very soft. And as for interest rates, they are still hovering around 7%. Bottom line, unless sellers get serious about adjusting or buyers suddenly get off the fence, this stalemate will continue. Thank you for watching so far. If you need any help digesting the information or figuring out what and how it applies to your specific scenario, go ahead and reach out to me. My information is in the comments below. Now back to the video. So what I'm experiencing myself is sellers are feeling that loss of those home values that we saw back in 21 and 22 where home values surged. We're seeing homes hit about $800,000 or higher, like whatever that value is, and now they've come down. They're correcting themselves from that massive increase in inflated values. I don't know how to say it properly, but kind of that increase in value that we experienced. They're correcting now down to more reasonable actual market values. Meanwhile, we have buyers that have been on the fence. It's unprecedented for them to be in kind of what we call the driver's seat. I mean, 28,000 listings, 7,000 sold. Buyers are definitely in control right now, and what they're looking for is that perfect home. And so for buyers, like, they have to give a little too, because that perfect home is really hard to find when we're looking for 100% of your wish list to be granted. So what we're looking for is probably around 80%, and it's kind of adjusting expectations on both sides that we're seeing agents kind of meet. Adjusting expectations on both sides is where we're seeing that middle ground between buyers and sellers. So current update on pricing, what we're seeing right now is the average sold sales price per square foot is around $300 a square foot. Again, depending on area or neighborhood that you're in, and this is actually up 0.8% year over year. And the reason for this is the luxury buyers that we had come in towards the end of last year. End of 2024, beginning of 25, we saw a surge in luxury purchases. Why? Because luxury purchasers buying in the million and up mark are not quite as affected by the interest rates as, the population under that, buying in the 800 or below. What we expect is that price per square foot is going to settle around the $290 mark, $290 a square foot, again, depending on neighborhood, depending on area, depending on house, and that's something that your agent can help you dial in. So early indicators are showing us that we're going to glide into a soft landing with prices, and that's looking at pending sales, sold sales, and terms of data to ground ourselves in what the market is actually doing. List price itself is not necessarily an indicator of where the market is. So that's a little note I like to throw in there, because list price is honestly just a marketing price. It's the price that the selling agent and the seller decided to come to the market with to attract buyers. What we're finding is that the pending and closed is more of a realistic indicator of what a buyer is willing to offer and what a seller is willing to accept. At the end of the day, what we're seeing in terms of closed home values is that closed price is within 94 to 97% of that last asking price the seller set. What does this mean for you, for buyers and sellers alike? The gap between buyers and sellers is real and it's growing. What we're seeing right now is buyers are more cautious. They're more hesitant. They're waiting for the best deal. And what we're seeing is sellers are hanging on to yesterday's pricing, refusing to adjust to the current market. They want that value that they had before because to them it feels like a loss of money. So it's not just about slapping your home on the market and waiting for an offer. It's about positioning, pricing, timing, and negotiating smart. If you'd like to know more about this market or specifically about a certain neighborhood, go ahead and reach out to me. My information's down below. So whether you're buying or selling, I'll help you cut through the noise and come up with a game plan that will actually work in this market.